All right, guys, Darren from FBA Elite, and welcome back to another video. So I'm currently involved in 4 different product launches on Amazon. These are Amazon FBA private label product. One of them is my own product, and 3 of them are products for mentees that I am mentoring at the moment. And from these product launches, I am noticing some changes and some tweaks to the process that we have used in the past to launch products, and maybe what we need to change going forward that will help you guys. So in this video, I want to talk about those things. I want to talk about the honeymoon period, what it is and whether it still exists and what you should do about it. And number 2, sales velocity and what it means in the context of a launch, because I think what it meant in the past is very different to what it means now. So I'm going to go through both of those things so that if you come to launch your own product on Amazon, you know what to expect and what to do. Now, the honeymoon period is this concept that I've seen many people on YouTube and the forums talk about. It's not something I've really talked about myself, as it's never been something that I believe in. And their thought behind the honeymoon period is that for a set period of time when you launch a new product on Amazon, Amazon artificially boosts that product, and then you have this kind of limited window to get your product successful. If you don't succeed in the honeymoon period, then it becomes a lot more difficult. So I disagree with that, and the evidence that I'm seeing from these 4 launches that I'm involved in at the moment, I am even more certain now that the honeymoon period in that context doesn't exist. So let me talk you through what I believe the honeymoon period actually is, even though for me it's not a honeymoon period. What I believe happens is when you launch a new product on Amazon, Amazon give it basically a default set of metrics. As it's a new product, Amazon don't know exactly how it's going to perform. So I believe what they do initially is they take the averages of how comparable products perform and use that as your baseline for your product. So when you launch a product, that's how they use it to assess how much to charge you for PPC and where to appear with the organic ranks. Now, what happens is after 2 or 3 weeks, or maybe longer, we don't know the exact cutoff or whether this is the exact cutoff or Amazon starts blending data. We don't know that. But what I believe happens is as you start to show Amazon how well your product converts, so how well your product appears in the listings, someone clicks on your product and then goes through to buy that product, how it appears, clicks throughs and converts for different search terms, Amazon starts to accumulate individual product data for your product. So rather than using averages for the products that already exist in the niche, they are now assessing your product on its own merit. So after 2 or 3 weeks, they say, right, well, initially we gave this product an average click-through rate of this and an average conversion rate of this. But now we know over the past few weeks that this product actually currently has a click-through rate of this and a conversion rate of that. So then they start to move your product up and down the search results accordingly, and also your PPC. If you've sold on Amazon before, and especially if you've sold a product that maybe hasn't been overly successful, you may find that after a couple of weeks, all of a sudden your bids aren't enough and you have to start upping your PPC. Or if you've launched a successful product on Amazon, after 2 or 3 weeks, you find you can actually start decreasing your bid as Amazon will show your adverts for less money. So what I see this honeymoon period is, it isn't a honeymoon period. This is a blank canvas where we are trying to prove to Amazon how well our product click-throughs and converts, because ultimately those are the 2 most important metrics. Now, sales velocity does play a part, and I'll come back to that in a moment. So when you launch a product on Amazon, your goal is to prove to Amazon you've got a great product. And showing them you've got a great product isn't outselling the competition, because anyone can use PPC or an artificially low price to brute force sales. Now, don't get me wrong, a low price can still be part of a great launch strategy. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying, unless your click-through and conversion rate backs that up. So if you put it into context, imagine someone launches a new product on Amazon. They spend thousands of pounds on PPC, and in the first 2 weeks, they sell 200 units. But to sell those 200 units, maybe they only had a really poor click-through rate, and maybe their conversion rate was maybe 5%, which is quite a poor conversion rate. Whereas in comparison, someone else who's maybe sold less products during that time, but converts at 10%. So even though that product sold less, in Amazon's eyes, when they're looking at how likely is a customer to click on the search results and buy this product, because it's got a good conversion rate, Amazon are going to favor that product. So we are training Amazon during those first few weeks how well your product clicks and converts. And if those metrics aren't there, regardless of how much you spend on PPC, regardless of how much you brute force sales, your listing will not stick. It might go up the search results, but as soon as you turn that PPC off or reduce it, or you increase that price slightly, your listing will not stick because the conversion rate and the click-through rate just are not there. So for me, the honeymoon period doesn't exist. Amazon aren't artificially boosting your listing. What they're doing is giving you a blank canvas where they're using probably a niche average, so giving you some baseline metrics when you first launch your product, and then when they learn what your product's actually all about and seeing how well it clicks and converts, that's when they know really what to do with that product, whether to bump it or whether to dump it. So that's the first thing I wanted to address in this video. The second thing is sales velocity. And I've talked about this a lot in the past, and sales velocity for me has always been the thing I focused on the most when I'm launching a product, but I'm changing my understanding of sales velocity and the role it plays in a launch. For me now, sales velocity is like sending up a flare. It's like saying to Amazon, look at me, I'm here. But unless you can back it up with the click-through and conversion rate, it won't stick. Your ranks will not stick, so you can make as many sales as you want, but your listing will not perform how you want it to perform. So yes, it's important to generate sales velocity. We're going to use PPC to get Amazon's attention and to show Amazon what your click-through rate and your conversion rate is actually like, but sales velocity on its own will not be enough to get you ranked well on Amazon. And it's so important you consider this at the very early stages of product development. So when you're finding your product and thinking about how you might develop it, because unless your product's got a strong visual selling point, so a unique thing that's going to help your product stand out in the listing, you're not going to have a very good click-through rate. Unless you've got a great product and a great listing, a well-optimized listing, great photography, all of the keywords integrated into the title, bullets, descriptions, and a competitive price point as well, you don't have to be the cheapest, but you do have to offer the most perceived value, then your product will always struggle on Amazon. So yes, you can brute force sales, but you cannot brute force ranks that will stick, because ultimately you'll be found out when your click-through rate and your conversion rate are exposed by your product actually selling in the real world on Amazon. Amazon will then be able to compare you directly to other products. And for me, I believe now that click-through and conversion are more important than sales velocity. Sales velocity gets their attention, but it's the click-through rate and the conversion that will seal the deal. Now, to prove this to you that Amazon isn't all about sales, well, obviously they are all about sales, but they don't necessarily prioritize products based on sales. If we take any random niche, so let's go to the well-visited chopping board niche that I like to demonstrate in these videos. And if we use X-Ray from Helium 10, which is still the best product research software out there, and they're also running a Black Friday offer at the moment, which is 30% off for 6 months. Let me just hide the webcam there. Yeah, so 30% off for 6 months. There is an affiliate link in the pinned top comment and in the description, and that'll get you 30% off for 6 months. So we've got X-Ray here, and if we filter out the sponsored results, just to leave the organic listings, and if you look at the sales, are these sorted in sales order? No. Yes, okay, you do tend to have the higher selling products towards the top and the lower selling products further down the page. But if you look at this definitely isn't linear. You know, when you jump from over 4,000 sales a month to 250 to 116, then 1,370, you can see this is hard evidence that Amazon do not prioritize products based on sales. Now, there will be someone who makes the argument that all of these sales may not be coming from this search term, and that is correct as well. You will perform differently for different search terms depending on how many sales, what your click-through rate and conversion rate is like for each search term. So there can be the case that these guys here might be doing 4,400 sales, but actually they're making 4,000 of those sales from different search terms, and that's why they've got 4,400, but they're not at the very top, because these guys might be generating better sales, better click-through, and better conversion rates for this particular search term. But it does show very clearly that Amazon isn't all about sales velocity. And if you take sales out of the equation, how would you assess? Think about it yourself. How would you assess a product? The products that get clicked on the most, yes, that's a good metric. But if a product gets clicked on, but someone doesn't buy, then that's no value to Amazon, is it? And if a product converts really well, but no one clicks on it, then that's no value to Amazon either, is it? You know, if you put it in the search results and no one clicks on the product in the first place, you're never going to make that sale. So you need a product that clicks and converts. Otherwise, it's of no use to Amazon. And like I say, sales velocity is just that flare that goes up to let Amazon know that you're there, so they can start tracking your metrics, namely click-through and conversion rate. There's probably other metrics are considered as well. If you've got a crazy high return rate, that will play into it as well. But if that is healthy, then I think click-through and conversion are the ones that are really important. And that's what you should focus on when you're developing your product. What is going to help you stand out in the search results, and what is going to seal the deal when they click through to the listing. You're going to have a great listing that really drives home why they clicked on your main image in the first place. Now, as we are heading towards Black Friday, I have had some people contact me asking if I'm going to run a Black Friday discount on the course. Unfortunately, I never sell the course at a discount, as it's just not fair on people that have invested in the course before. The course is still $4.99. It's been $4.99 since I launched it 3-4 years ago. I'm still updating the course. So when you take into account inflation's at 20%, technically the course is at a 20% discount already. But if you are interested in the course, I am going to run a Black Friday promo, which is I will give you a no quibble money back guarantee. If you buy the course in November, anytime during November 2024, if you're not completely happy having watched, let's say, if you've watched less than 20% of the course and you're not happy with what you've seen, drop me an email and I'll give you a 100% refund, no questions asked. Now, if you want to get started with Amazon FBA, but you don't want to invest in a course, I'd recommend a video that I released a couple of weeks ago that showed you step by step how to start your own Amazon FBA business and make £2,000 per month. I'll pop up that video now and I'll see you guys over there.